There comes a moment in life where comfort will whisper, stay here. But greatness shouts, move forward. And between those two voices lies the battlefield of your mind. You cannot live an extraordinary life with an ordinary mindset. Your brain was not created just for survival. It was created for conquest. But if you don't force your brain to do hard things, it will default to the easy, the shallow, and the temporary. When you live by feelings, you will always be limited by moods. Feelings rise and fall like the tide. They change with the weather, with the people around you, with the pressure of the moment. If you wait until you feel like doing something, you will waste precious years in hesitation. Feelings are unreliable leaders. They whisper excuses, they magnify fear, and they tell you that today is not the right day. If you follow feelings, you will always take the softer road, the safer road, the road that demands nothing from you. But discipline is different. Discipline does not ask permission from feelings. Discipline does not negotiate with excuses. Discipline rises up when feelings want to lay down. Discipline moves when emotions say stay. Your brain will always search for the path of least resistance because survival has taught it to conserve energy, to avoid pain, and to seek comfort. That is why you must force your brain to do what feels unnatural at first. When the alarm clock rings, feelings tell you, sleep a little longer. Discipline tells you, rise, because your future won't wait. When the opportunity to study, to work, to train, or to build presents itself, feelings whisper later when you're ready, when you're stronger, when you're more inspired. Discipline declares, now, while it's hard, while it hurts, while it seems small, because later is the enemy of destiny. Every person who has accomplished anything of value has learned the power of moving in spite of feelings. Success is not built on the mountain of motivation. It is built on the bricks of discipline. Discipline is the decision to do it anyway. Do it tired. Do it afraid. Do it uncertain. Do it without applause. Discipline refuses to bend under the weight of emotion. It shows up when feelings don't. It carries you when moods betray you, and it pushes you through when inspiration disappears. The truth is, your brain can be trained. It was never meant to be the master. It was designed to be the servant. But servants must be taught how to obey. The mind that resists hard things is the same mind that can be reshaped to pursue them. Repetition rewires. Each time you act against your feelings, you are teaching your brain a new pattern, a new expectation. You are laying down tracks that lead toward focus, resilience, and strength. And the more you choose discipline over feelings, the more natural it becomes. What once felt impossible begins to feel inevitable because the brain learns to follow the command of your will instead of the cry of your comfort. But this process is not easy. The first steps are often the hardest. The battle is loud in the beginning. Your emotions scream louder when you deny them. They demand attention. They plead for compromise. They try to bargain for one more moment of ease. But every time you stand your ground, every time you move in the opposite direction of feelings, you weaken their grip. What you feed grows, and what you starve dies. When you starve excuses, when you silence feelings, when you refuse to obey the temporary urge for comfort, you are strengthening the voice of discipline. Discipline is not glamorous. It does not shine in the spotlight. Discipline is forged in silence, in the unseen hours, in the small daily choices that no one claps for. Discipline is waking up early when no one notices. Discipline is saying no when everyone else says yes. Discipline is staying focused when distractions shout for your attention. Discipline is the invisible hand that pushes you past mediocrity, and it is always stronger than feelings. Feelings change, but discipline remains. Feelings are visitors, but discipline becomes a resident. Feelings make promises they can't keep, but discipline produces results that cannot be denied. You must decide who is in charge. Will it be feelings or will it be discipline? Because one will dominate the other. If feelings lead, discipline dies. If discipline leads, feelings eventually follow. When you force yourself to get up, to show up, to push through, feelings often catch up later. Inspiration arrives after movement. Motivation comes after action. But if you wait on feelings to move, you may never move at all. Struggle is not a sign that you are failing. It is a sign that you are stretching. Anything that grows must first push against resistance. The seed that becomes a tree must press against the dirt. The cocoon that houses the butterfly must first break before wings can fly. And the diamond we admire is only born because pressure crushed the carbon until beauty was formed. Struggle is not punishment, it is preparation. It does not arrive to destroy you, it arrives to define you. When life places weight on your shoulders, it is not to break your back, but to build your strength. If you avoid struggle, you avoid strength. If you run from pressure, you run from power. Every difficult moment you face is sculpting something inside of you that comfort could never create. You cannot grow in the absence of resistance. Muscles do not develop by being idle. They grow because of the strain, the repeated stress, the weight that seems unbearable. In the same way, character does not develop when everything is easy. Discipline is not birthed in luxury. Courage is not born in calm waters. Patience is not learned in peaceful seasons. They are forged in the furnace of struggle. That furnace is hot, it is uncomfortable, and it demands something from you. But what it produces is always greater than what it costs. The struggle you are in today may not make sense, but it is chiseling away the weakness that cannot carry your tomorrow. Every challenge that confronts you is an opportunity disguised as difficulty. Life does not ask if you are ready before it throws weight on you. It simply applies pressure, and in that pressure you discover what you are truly made of. Many people pray for strength, but want to avoid the process that produces it. Strength does not come in whispers and soft moments. Strength comes in storms. The very storm you are begging to escape might be the storm that gives you the endurance to stand in the future. You cannot ask for greatness while rejecting the grind that produces it. Struggle teaches you what comfort hides. In comfort, you never learn how far you can go. In comfort, you never find out what you are capable of. Comfort lulls you into mediocrity, but struggle shakes you awake to potential. Struggle forces you to discover new ways of thinking, new levels of creativity, new depths of determination. When everything is easy, there is no need to stretch. But when life tightens its grip, you begin to push past limits you never thought you could cross. It is in the struggle that you find resilience. It is in the struggle that you find endurance. It is in the struggle that you discover a version of yourself that cannot be revealed any other way. And while the struggle feels personal, it is rarely just for you. What you are enduring today will serve as a testimony for someone tomorrow. Your survival will become someone else's strategy. The lessons you are learning in this fight will one day become wisdom that rescues another person from quitting. Struggle does not only build your strength, it builds your story. And your story has the power to light a fire in others who thought they were alone in their battles. The truth is, struggle refines your vision. It forces you to separate what matters from what doesn't. When life presses down on you, trivial things fall away and only the essential remains. Struggle makes you focus. Struggle makes you prioritize. Struggle forces you to concentrate your energy on the core of your calling. And once you have endured, once you have walked through fire and kept walking, there is a clarity that only struggle could produce. You begin to see that what you thought was against you was actually working for you. Avoiding struggle weakens you. Facing it strengthens you. Each battle you survive makes you bolder for the next. Each mountain you climb makes the next one less intimidating. Each valley you walk through teaches your feet how to trust the ground, even when you cannot see the path. The strength you admire in others is not because they avoided hardship, it is because they endured it. Struggle shaped them. Struggle trained them. Struggle carved into them the ability to stand tall when life tries to bend them low. The same is true for you. The human brain is not fixed. It is flexible, adaptable, and moldable. What you repeat, you reinforce. What you practice, you become. Every decision, every habit, every choice is a brushstroke on the canvas of your mind. You are not simply reacting to life. You are training your brain in real time. When you choose distraction over discipline, you are wiring your brain to chase ease, to crave the temporary, to run after the shallow. But when you choose focus, when you train your mind to remain on the task at hand, you are teaching your brain that it was created for mastery, not mediocrity. Repetition is the teacher, and your brain is the student. It listens carefully to what you do most often, not what you say you want. The power of rewiring lies in consistency. One choice does not transform a life, but repeated choices shape destiny. The brain thrives on patterns, and the patterns you create become the grooves that guide your future. Each time you resist distraction, you are digging deeper into the pathway of focus. Each time you honor discipline, you are strengthening the muscle of resilience. Each time you return to the work, the practice, the vision, you are reminding your brain what truly matters. Over time, those small decisions create momentum, and that momentum becomes a force strong enough to shift the trajectory of your life. But this is not easy in a world filled with noise. Distractions surround you, begging for your attention, pulling at your focus, whispering that you can postpone what you should be pursuing now. The temptation of ease is everywhere, and your brain will naturally lean toward the shortcut, the quick fix, the path that requires the least effort. That is why repetition is so critical. You cannot rely on occasional bursts of discipline. You cannot rely on rare sparks of focus. You must build a system of repetition that teaches your brain to embrace what is difficult until it feels natural. It is not about one great act. It is about daily practice, the steady rhythm of showing up even when it feels inconvenient. The mind is like a garden, and repetition is the planting of seeds. If you plant distractions, you will reap disorder. If you plant excuses, you will reap stagnation. But if you plant discipline day after day, you will reap growth, resilience, and excellence. And like any garden, it takes time for the seeds to break the surface. The work you do today may not bear fruit immediately, but beneath the soil, roots are forming, foundations are being established, and strength is being built in the unseen places. The repetition may feel small, but small seeds produce mighty harvests. Every master was once a beginner who embraced repetition. Great athletes train the same movements over and over until muscle memory takes over. Musicians play the same scales until their fingers no longer need to think. Writers put down words daily, even when inspiration is absent, because they know the act of repetition sharpens the mind and strengthens the craft. Excellence is not birthed in moments of passion alone. It is forged in the grind of repetition, in the steady choice to return to the work no matter how mundane it feels. Your brain learns best not through desire, but through practice. And though repetition may feel boring, it is never wasted. Every time you refuse distraction, every time you silence the urge to quit, every time you choose to focus instead of wander, you are programming your mind to serve your destiny. This is the unseen victory, the kind that builds confidence from within. You begin to trust yourself because you have proven through repetition that you can endure, that you can focus, that you can persist. This trust becomes strength, and that strength becomes fuel for even greater challenges. The real transformation happens slowly, almost invisibly. At first, forcing focus feels unnatural. At first, repetition feels frustrating. At first, your brain resists, craving the comfort of distraction. But with each act of discipline, with each return to focus, the resistance weakens. Soon, what once felt impossible begins to feel normal. What once required force becomes your default response. Repetition carves new pathways in the brain until discipline no longer feels like a battle, but a rhythm. What was once a struggle becomes a standard, and what was once forced becomes familiar. Easy will never create impact because easy does not challenge you. It does not stretch you. It does not pull you beyond the limits of your comfort zone. Easy lets you stay where you are, but destiny requires you to move into places that are difficult, uncomfortable, and demanding. Hard things have a way of stripping away what is weak, exposing what is real, and awakening what is powerful within you. When life feels heavy, when tasks feel impossible, when challenges seem insurmountable, that is often the very ground where breakthrough is being prepared. The soil of greatness is watered by struggle, fertilized by difficulty, and cultivated by persistence in the face of resistance. Breakthrough is not born in leisure. It is born in labor. It is born in the nights when you keep going though your strength feels depleted. It is born in the mornings when you rise in defiance of fatigue. It is born in the decisions that demand sacrifice, the ones that require you to trade comfort for commitment, convenience for conviction. The very act of enduring what is hard is what produces the power to step into what is greater. Easy will never demand the best of you, but hard will summon it out of you. Easy will allow you to remain hidden, but hard will force you to rise and reveal the depths of your potential. Hard things refine your focus. They strip away distractions because difficulty does not leave room for divided attention. When the climb is steep, you cannot afford to look in every direction. When the weight is heavy, you must center your strength. When the battle is fierce, you must concentrate on survival. Hard things narrow your vision, teaching you to pursue what truly matters and to let go of what does not. This refining process hurts, but it also purifies. It is in the furnace of difficulty that clarity is produced, and it is in that clarity that breakthrough begins to form. The process of facing hard things builds endurance. Endurance is not learned in seasons of ease, but in seasons where quitting seems reasonable, and yet you keep moving. Every time you choose persistence in difficulty, you are building a reservoir of strength that will carry you into future victories. That reservoir becomes a foundation of resilience, the inner knowing that even when life presses hard against you, you have the capacity to withstand and keep moving. Endurance becomes the bridge between the challenge and the breakthrough, and without that bridge, you cannot cross into your destiny. Hard things also reveal hidden abilities. You never know how much strength you carry until life requires more than you thought you had. You never know how much wisdom resides within you until circumstances demand solutions you've never considered. You never know how much courage pulses in your veins until fear stands in your way and you choose to confront it. Easy conceals those treasures because it never asks you to reach deeper. Hard exposes them, forces them into the light, and demands that you use them. The very challenges you wish would disappear are often the catalysts that draw out the gifts that have been lying dormant inside you. Breakthrough is rarely sudden. It is the result of compounded struggle, repeated effort, and consistent resistance against the temptation to give up. Each hard thing you overcome lays another stone in the pathway to breakthrough. Each obstacle you press through brings you one step closer to the moment where everything shifts. And while others may only see the breakthrough, you will know the weight of the battles, the scars of the struggle, and the sweat of the process that built it. There is a reason why the easy road is crowded while the hard road is almost empty. Most choose comfort, most choose what requires little, most choose what demands nothing. But those who dare to walk the hard road, those who embrace the climb, those who endure the resistance, they are the ones who encounter breakthroughs that others only dream of. Hard is not there to block you. It is there to build you. It is the furnace where weakness burns away and strength rises. It is the proving ground where faith, courage, and persistence grow into unshakable forces. Hard is the midwife of breakthrough, the painful process that ushers in transformation, the relentless teacher that prepares you for the weight of what you are destined to carry.